Shasta McNastie is on the FayWhat show. So let's welcome my girl, South Florida drag activist Shasta McNastie. She works with the Federation of Families right here in Broward County as a peer specialist working with people who have mental health and substance abuse disorders, as well as performing around town everywhere, especially at the pub. If you watch her on social media, you'll get tired because she is everywhere, all right? Welcome to the FayWhat show, Shasta McNastie.
Hi.
Hi, how are you, Mama?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Hot as Hades, but wonderful.
Girl, right? Doesn't it get hotter here every year? Like, is that like something, or is it just that we're getting older in the women years and it's
Don't
just
say
affecting
that.
us?
I don't
a
get
different
older.
way?
I don't
No?
get older.
You don't?
No, I just get finer.
You just get, it must be that olive oil or whatever that shit you're using on your face. It's working.
It is.
I love you, Shasta. I think that you're such a genuine, real girl, and I just having conversations with you, I fell for your humor, I fell for your personality, I fell for your realness, to be completely honest. So I've been trying to get you in bed for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I've seen Shasta at a drag, and she's a very pretty boy too.
Oh, stop.
So let's talk about your name, because you know, you and I both know that Shasta McNastie was also an American sitcom back in the day on UPN that I think had like one season or some shit. Back in the 90s, but that's not where you got your name from.
It is not where I got my name from. I actually didn't even know about the show until later on, probably, I don't know, about 10 years after, and somebody's like, is that where you got it from? I'm like, no. So I got it from actually my ex-husband that I was with, who is, you know, passed on. Mm-hmm. He named me. We went just out one night. My original drag name was Winona Jugs. I had long red hair and huge bazongas, like just huge. And that didn't stick well. So he was like, yeah, Shasta McNastie. And it just came out of nowhere because it's like the cheap soda.
I love that. I didn't even think about that.
Fun, flavorful, and cheap.
Fun, flavorful, and cheap. That right there encompasses you right there, right?
All of it. And they tend to spell it wrong, though. So I always have to tell people,
I-E.
It sounds trashy, but it's spelled classy with an I-E, not a Y.
Got it, I-E. So make sure that you get that right. Shasta, you're from Missouri, right?
Kansas City.
Did I say that right? Missouri.
Missouri.
Everybody says that shit wrong. Missouri. Paint a picture of Kansas City, Missouri. Growing up LGBTQ+.
It was something that wasn't very popular. It was something that in my, time frame that you didn't see very often. I remember being in the back of my uncle's car on our way out going hunting when Ellen came out and it was all over the radio. And I was cringing because I'm like, oh no, I thought they knew all of a sudden. So it wasn't something I personally was around. Mm-hmm. We were mid-city is what I like to call it, because country was one way and the city was the other way, but we were right in the middle. So for me, it wasn't always there. But when I turned 17 and I found, gay pride in Kansas City, the festival.
They have a gay pride in Kansas City, really?
It is so huge, so huge. It's always the first weekend of June. Friday night, they do a street blast and they block off a street downtown, like 3 blocks long, have a stage, everything. The next night we do at a war memorial. It's called Liberty Memorial. They go and they rent out the whole yard, and the next 2 nights and days, that's where it's at.
See, there's a pride even in Kansas City. How dope is that? And for all those people that say that there's too many prides, no, those are the prides that give somebody an inspiration to be their true, authentic self, like what happened with you.
Exactly, and that's exactly where my thought of being in drag came from too. I looked up, I seen these 2 phenomenal drag queens on stage, and I followed them from there on out, and I was like, I looked up there and I said, that's going to be me one day.
Wow. And it is. It is.
First drag goal came through last year when I was crowned Miss Stonewall 2021.
Wait a minute. So that was your first crown?
That was my first official crown.
Shut up.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
won
God.
things like Miss White Trash, Miss Trailer Park. I've done those in Topeka.
I won that one too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, they came with pretty bracelets and everything.
And that was it.
Time.
They glowed in the dark and then they stopped after the first night. That's how cheap that was.
Yes.
Miss Stonewall 2021. Wow, what a crazy year that was. And definitely you did not act how that being like your first official crown or your first official pageant, because you were a rock star. You are a rock star,
Thank
Mama. How was wearing that crown during such a tough situation? Now, folks at home, if you don't know what happened, back in 2021, we had a Stonewall parade, which was super huge, was supposed to be super huge. And we had an unfortunate accident where 2 folks lost their lives. And because of that, we weren't able to have the parade that we had been planning for almost a year for. Out of respect, out of so many different reasons, of course, because of that casualty. So you weren't able to wear your crown down the parade that year.
Not in the parade, no, but I had to keep going with my duties as far as that, and went and, did the rest of the shows that I had to do. I think the biggest thing with that, in my opinion, was that people were jumping to such conclusions, which I understand because our community has been
Targeted.
quote unquote targeted or under attack for so long that something like that happens. But it's always about get your facts right before you announce things.
Yeah. It's just, but you know what it is, Shasta, is that we live in fear, Mama. We live in fear. So we would take, so people said it was a terrorist attack. We're under attack. They're coming for us. The Proud Boys. Everybody started making all these crazy assumptions. And that's what they were assumptions. But because we're so attacked every day by bills, by Republicans, by freaking everyone, we don't think it's a positive thing. We're constantly like, okay, we're under attack again.
Absolutely.
And that's what happens, I love you for a lot of different reasons, but one of the main reasons that I really simply adore you is because we're both in recovery, right?
Absolutely.
And we have both decided to be open about our recovery. And most 12-step programs have anonymous at the end of it, But for you and I, it's not. We respect other people's anonymity.
Absolutely.
But we are out and proud about our recovery.
Yeah.
I know why I am. Why are you?
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my recovery. If it wasn't for the choice that I made to change my life to better, to have a better quality of life, then I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I choose to stand where I do, as people would say, not on a soapbox, but on my platform as an entertainer, because unfortunately, our community is known a lot for drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And I just need people to know that that doesn't have to be it. You can still reach your goals and your dreams without the drugs and alcohol. You can still be a phenomenal entertainer. You can still be a beautiful gal that's sitting next to me.
Thank you, Mama.
Without all of that. You can still have fun. You can still be yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a never-ending journey.
But it takes some work, Shasta.
does.
You don't just get to say, hey, I'm still going to be part of this community and you guys get to drink and do your drugs around me and I'm going to be okay. That's not true. It takes work.
It does. It takes a lot.
When I first came out, because it sure feels like coming out when you recover, because all your friends are still drinking and drugging. So you have to make choices as to cut some of your friends off. These are your chosen family that you are now saying, I can't be around you because I got to stay sober. Yeah. That first year, I didn't really go out because I wasn't prepared to be around these same people that I knew were going to be drinking and having a great time on their own, and I wasn't going to be able to be there yet.
I did the exact same thing. I didn't go out, and I had just moved down here about a year before I chose to go into recovery. So
you had another year of partying.
I found out what the drive was all about. I worked on the drive. I found the back scenes of the drive, everything that you need to find in those times. I found it and I went with it. And, I realized that that's not what I want in my life. That's not who I am.
Yeah.
So I stayed away, but can I please tell you, this is the best part of it. I disappeared from the scene for a year, but I was still a boy, never did drag, nothing, I'm still a boy, but anyways, you understand. But I was there so often that I got to know people. Plus I was working at a restaurant on the drive. People knew me from there. So when I disappeared for a year, I don't know if we had Facebook or MySpace, don't date myself. But,
right. Top eight.
Either one we had at the time, people were actually following me and they seen. And the first time that I decided to go out, I actually went, I don't know if I can name drop.
Please, go right ahead.
I went to Hunter's Nightclub,
Love
which is
Hunter's.
also a big supporter of myself and my career. And that's my family. And Diego, the bartender, was there, and Diego's been there forever. And I went to the bar, and the first thing he did was say hello, gave me a hug, and started making a drink. And I was like, oh, no. And he goes, I know, sweetie. And he winked at me and made me a fruit juice cocktail.
Oh, Diego,
and handed it to me. And he's like, I've been watching, and congratulations. And I cannot walk into a bar on the drive myself without a server or a bartender handing me a sugar-free Red Bull immediately.
Oh my God, how incredible that is.
Yeah, it's respectable, and it gives me so much gratitude, because even though they're there to sell alcohol and do their business, they're also there to support the community. And when they do that, it brings more life and light, and it
Yeah.
lets you know that, again, being sober or clean is not the end of the world.
It's not. It's not.
It's a better start to your life.
But it takes some time. It took that year away from the drive, and during that year, were you like, "Oh, I want to bring Shasta, I want to come back, or were you not even thinking about that yet?
I hadn't thought about that yet. And if you want to know, my first time in drag, actually, that I did again after I got sober was at the church.
Uh-huh.
And it was a thing that we call Miss Florida Roundup.
Yes. Okay.
And we do Florida Roundup every year. And that was the first year I did it. And I did it for 4 more years. And this last year, I am now the current reigning Miss Florida Roundup.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Yes, it's a sober pageant
Wow.
it's a fundraising pageant. We get together for different places and raise money for our roundup that we have here in Florida.
I love the roundup. You got to look that up if you're in recovery. Were you were doing drag before you got clean, Shasta?
This is gonna make me seem like an old lady now, but yes, I was. I did. It was a drugs and alcohol that held her together for a long time. For a long time, no joke. I've been doing drag for about 17 years altogether.
And you still got that fresh skin like that? Are you sure?
That's that Midwestern skin.
It must be, because I mean, shit, I don't see no lines or anything like you got a facelift, girl, but okay, I'll believe you.
A little bit of Botox, I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, a lot of Botox here.
Honest program.
What was your bottom, Shasta? What was it? Where you were like, that's it, I can't no more. Like, this has just gone way too freaking far.
I've had so many bottoms, and I think that,
Sorry.
considering I am a top, but my biggest bottom was that I was in a very unhealthy relationship with a man, of course, with domestic violence, emotional, mental violence, and I was walking the streets down here in Dania Beach, actually, and I just decided that, enough is enough. I'm alone. I'm 1,500 miles away from home. I can call and talk to my family, but I can't see my family. They were not there to enable me anymore. Not that they always did, but, your family tries the hardest, I think, sometimes to
overlook how bad things are sometimes, I think.
Absolutely. And that was the time. And I'll tell you, the first one that sparked it to get me to move down here was I was actually running for Miss Kansas City Gay Pride. And I found out that 2 of the other girls dropped out of the pageant. I was the only one that was supposed to show up. I could have just walked in and won the crown. And I had what I call my Aubrey Hepburn moment. And I sat in front of my vanity, painted to the gods, ready to go. And I just looked at myself and was like, what am I doing with my life? And just cried because I'd spent the whole night before stoning and getting high. And so I made it all the way to the parking lot of the pageant. And I couldn't go in because I didn't want to represent myself anymore like that, or my community. And that was, like I said, a dream of mine was to be Miss Kansas City Gay Pride. And that is what it took for me to kick myself in the butt.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and then you came here.
And then I came here.
Do you think is that why you're single, Shasta?
Oh, no.
No? Why are you single? Because it's hard to date you?
It is.
I was expecting, no, girl, I'm like so sweet. No.
Oh, no. It is because I am so busy sometimes, but I haven't understood with guys what it is about them that dating a female impersonator or drag queen, however you want to refer to it, is so hard for them. I've been with somebody for a while, and then I finally told them, okay, well, I have a show to do, because I didn't used to be so popular. And they're like, a show? And I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, okay. How
about me?
Bye.
What about me?
They're like, I don't want any part of it. If I'm dating you, I want you to support me, but that doesn't mean that you have to be there. That doesn't mean that you have to carry my stuff, even though it would be lovely. And that doesn't mean that, you have to be in the show or a part of the show.
Exactly.
I want you to love me for me.
And support me and coexist. Like when I got married, everybody was like, oh, are you going to say she's your best friend in your nuptials? No, she completes you. No, she doesn't complete me. I'm all complete, all by myself. Right. Together, we get to be a power couple, and that's what you deserve.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's what you will find. Watch. In a couple of months, you're gonna be like, Faye, he showed up. He's carrying my shit and everything.
I live for that.
So, you're at Alibi. You're at Hunters. You are at Pub. You're freaking everywhere. Do you remember the first time you and I met?
Oh my gosh.
So we were in the
sorry.
conference room at Sunsurf.
At Sunsurf.
We were in the conference room at Sunsurf, and I was scared shitless because I was going to be put in drag, and I was going to have to sing. I was going to have to lip sync with Tony Lima over at Hunter's, and we were going to lip sync for our lives. And you lent me makeup. You made Tony sort of pretty. You know, like, I mean, and you were so humbled, and I was like, that's Shasta? And you were just there in your pantyhose, like running around like, hey girl, hey, like nothing, you know, like you are who you are. Do you let anybody make you be any different? It doesn't strike me like as you do.
I don't. It's taken a long time for me to be who I am, to know who I am, and to love who I am. And I put a lot of work into it. And there's nobody that I feel is going to ever stop me from doing that.
Yeah, I don't think so
You
either.
know,
I don't think so either.
Even when I'll tell you, even when I started getting sober, my own mother, she was like, well, aren't you going to change your drag name? And I said, why would I do that? And she said, because it mixes with your using. And I said, but also so does my story. Because if it wasn't for what I have done in the past, I couldn't be who I am today.
Completely. You know, and I'm a firm believer, Shasta, that silence kills.
Yeah.
Silence kills.
Absolutely.
You know, I refuse to hide that part of me, you know, and every once in a while I'll get a messenger from someone, hey, my friend needs help.
Yep.
Or I think my sister is, or what can I do? And I live for those moments because those are moments that I get to refer someone to an organization like the one you work for, or I get to refer them to Sunserve, or I get to refer them to AA, whatever. And even if that seed is planted,
It's about the seed.
It's all about the freaking seed. If they don't even go, if they do nothing with it, and then in a month come back and go get that information and go follow up, I did my job and I get to stay sober one more day.
That's it.
You know?
We got to share the message.
And we got to share the message. We did a Drag the Vote event a couple of weeks back.
Yes, that was so much fun.
That was so much fun. It was like the who's who of drag queens. Like, it was just incredible. You know, it was Kitty Meow, it was Shasta, it was Erica Norell, it was Misty Eyes, it was Velvet Lenore. I mean, it was like bam, 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 you know? And you bitch, and Lady Marissa, oh God, I love that wowoman.
That's my sister.
She's so talented.
She's everything. Everything that she had on from head to toe, she made.
She made. Oh, look up Lady Marissa. Look her up on social media. She does a Joan Rivers that will blow you away. If you are a fan at all, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like,
I've watched it over and over and over and over and over.
Incredible. So, you know, we're there in this hotel ballroom and we're just basically like just screaming to people like, hey, get the word out. You know, early voting is coming up in August down here in South Florida. We've got to get people to vote in midterms, and it's scary times for our community, you know? How important is it for us to get out there and vote?
You know, it's kind of like what I said there is our LGBTQ community is in danger. We're almost becoming endangered species. Isn't that crazy?
Take a picture of us. We might not be here long.
Right, because, our rights are being taken away a day at a time, every single day.
A little bit, like they're chiseling away at it.
And it's like the world is going backwards. You know, we fought for so long to have the rights that we have, to be able to be free, to be out in the open, to love people that we want to love.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we threw the first brick, and it feels like we're coming right back to do it again.
Well, and I think that's why these midterm elections are so important. Like, so many of our community will go, okay, now we got to vote in the presidential, you know? Mm-hmm. But like, we've been overlooking the local representatives, and then they've sneaked them all in. And now we're like, how'd this happen? What do you mean? Yeah. Because you weren't voting in those critical elections back then. Those fools have slipped right in like snakes.
Exactly.
And here we are.
And they've had the smaller houses build the bigger houses to build the big house. That's how that works. And,
the threats keep coming. We had this Drag the Vote event. And it was in Fort Lauderdale at a beautiful hotel. And there was a threat. There was like someone, people that were talking crap saying that they would crash it. This is the world that we live in now. Last week, our governor decided to go after our house, which is also a very prominent drag place, a restaurant, a brunch place in Miami, now saying that like it's sexualizing to have kids at a drag show. And they're showing a beautiful drag queen dancing with a little 8-year-old, you know, I mean,
Having the time of their life.
having the time of their lives.
Let's remind that. Let's take away that joy, right? Because they're trying to make it something ugly.
They're making it sexual. It's not sexual.
What part of dancing is with someone is sexual? I mean, I have been to I've done, storybook time. I love storybook time. Doing storybook time, I did it in Miami at the museum.
Oh,
It was so stunning. And you know what we did at the end of it? We had a band. And you know what the band did? They played music and we danced.
and you dance.
I danced with 20 plus children because it brought them joy and laughter.
Yeah.
Not anything malicious, not anything sexual. I don't even understand. I can't even really wrap my head around why people would think that it is something that, but let's go throw kids in a church with priests.
Right? And
Don't get me
don't
started.
get us started there with the priest, right? Because then that's a whole other show right there,
That's a whole, here's the evidence, you got the receipts, honey.
Someone can't even dress like one of those little boys that carry the stuff without all of us going,
Altar boys.
right, altar boys. See, it's crazy. It's crazy how that is. You were telling me about your niece, right? Is it your niece that's the baby?
Oh gosh, she's not anymore. I have great nieces and nephews now.
Great niece. You didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that.
Niece. There's a beautiful picture of you with a niece, with the baby on your social media, and you are in full drag, looking stunning.
And she's looking up at me with a smile.
Like, wow.
As I'm holding her.
You're so beautiful.
And then, of course, it doesn't show in the photograph, but after that, I broke down in tears because my family has been, I'm very, very lucky and very fortunate that my family has accepted me for who I am, including Shasta. I just recently had my sister and my nieces come down, the mother of the one you're speaking of. They got the first time come down to Florida since I've been here. I had a debut of one of my shows. They got to be there. And one of my nieces, she had never seen me perform, but my sister and my other niece have.
Wow.
And so to have my family there with me and supporting me, that is one of the best feelings that you can ever have.
Oh, that's beautiful. So if you go to Shasta's social media and you see this beautiful picture of her with this beautiful child, if you see anything sexy about it, there's really something wrong with you. There just is nothing sexual about that. There just isn't.
Not even.
I can't believe that you have a day job and all this other stuff. Yeah. I'm just still mortified because I don't have time to do my toenails. Look, I have a Band-Aid on my freaking pinky if I don't have time to do crap. And Shasta has 18 jobs and a full-time job. Holy crap. Tell me about your day job. Tell me about how important that job is. You started at SunServe, right?
I did.
Which we love SunServe. Hi, SunServe, for all you do.
SunServe. Yes, absolutely. I had a wonderful supervisor at SunServe that hired me on there. In the SUD department, which is substance use disorders. And I learned a lot and I got my certification. So I'm now a peer specialist, a substance use disorder peer specialist. And peer specialists are becoming a little more popular within everything. They're putting them in hospitals now and mental health hospitals. The VA uses them. And what we are is we're an emotional support. We're an emotional and mental support for people that may not have that. Yeah. They don't have that support. They don't have somebody that they can talk to. So we're there for them. We also offer a lot of linkage and communication to the community and ways that they can help. We help them get a better quality of life. And I say that a lot because that is something that has been very strong within myself, is getting a better quality of life. I mean, I used to think I had the best quality of life until I found a better quality of life.
Yes, of course.
And to be able to help people as they start on their journey. I specifically, at South Florida Wellness Network is where I work. We specifically deal with people with mental health and substance use disorders. And the best part is that everyone from the president of the non-for-profit all the way down to the littlest of us of all, we have all been through our own recovery of either mental or substance use disorder.
Wow. That's so important, Shasta. It's so important. AA it's meetings and it's fellowship. And I've always said that, I knew I had a problem. AA got me there, but the fellowship kept me there, right? Exactly. And as a peer, how would you call it, peer specialist? Would that be what it is? Yeah. You are that fellowship. A lot of people get scared of 12-step programs because they include God. You know, there are also 12-step programs that don't include God, but I get the fear, especially
Absolutely.
in LGBTQ.
Exactly. And that's something else that we actually offer is we offer harm reduction. We don't just say, you have to go here, you need to go here. No, because, as much as I don't like to say it because it's helped me, but there are other ways besides NA and AA. And sometimes they don't work for people.
Yeah.
Because not everyone is the same.
No, not everyone is the same. Exactly. Well, where that worked for us, but it's like you said, it's not everybody's path, and that's okay. We just want you to find help, whatever the help is, to have that better quality of life that you're saying, because like for me, Shasta, like I could never imagine getting on a stage without at least 4 shots.
Real same.
It just wasn't. And I was like, I'm not funny without some booze, right? I can't talk to these freaking crazy queers sober.
I would do, as I'm putting on my makeup, I'd go through about a fifth of E&J brandy, doing shots of that and Dr. Pepper before I'd even get my face done.
It was in my coffee with like 3 other shots right next to it. Because in my mind, I couldn't function. So it's just telling you that if you have a problem, there is a chance of a better quality of life out there.
And there's always hope. Don't give up. There's always hope, and there's always somebody there to support you or to help you. Even if it's just a simple phone call. We also have at South Florida Wellness Network, we have a crisis line, because BSO sometimes does not know how to deal with people that they go to, and maybe they have mental health issues or they have substance use disorders. A lot of times deputies' first thing is to let's arrest them and take them to jail.
Yeah.
Well, they sit in jail for 36 hours, they get out, and then they get to go right back to where they were. So the program that we're involved in, or that we've invented, I guess you would say, Mr. John Glover is one of my supervisors. He has made it to where we get a call and we go out there and we offer them support at that time. Is it something that you're interested in maybe going to get help? And we send them to places like the Respite, or we send them to a place called Bark IRT for detox, and we're that little middle person. And we're making that little by little. We have it up north right now in Pompano area, and we're bringing it down a little bit more. And with me as I like to say, their token gay at South Florida Wellness Network, I've been, a lot more about let's be more involved with Wilton Manors. Let's be more involved with more of the South side of where we're at.
Yeah.
I said, because, they were even in the parade this year.
I saw.
Yeah.
And, we have an interesting relationship with police. You know that, especially our trans brothers and sisters. Sure. And so it's one of those things where it's like education is key. Education is key, and now you're working on that, on getting on, because it's, again, just giving the benefit of the doubt to the cops. I know that we've all had our encounters, but, they're not trained to deal with all the different spectrum of people that are on this earth,
Absolutely.
From mental health to, to drug addiction to, I've gotten stopped with, with a drag queen in the car. And that's always an interesting conversation, with the cop. Cause it's like, well, you two step out the car. Oh shit,
Please don't check my license.
Please don't check my license, But education is key, dealing with BSOs and letting them know, explaining to them, or maybe certain warning signs that they could look out for before they just automatically throw somebody in jail.
Yeah. And that's something else too that they've started there at South Florida Wellness, is they actually go to BSO or different places and they have them come and they offer classes now where they're training them on better ways to deal with people with mental health issues. They're also expressing to them, this is my run-ins, because in my sobriety days, in the before sobriety days, having run-ins with the cops, it was taken to jail. It was not like what's going on, what's happening. That's what they're trained to do. So it's not completely we're not blaming faults here. We're not putting people on blast, but it gives us a chance to let the cops know this was our interaction and it was not great.
Yeah.
Maybe if you did something a little bit differently or took that half a second, this could turn out completely different.
Completely. Shasta, thank you so much for being on my show today.
Thanks for having me.
I love you. I think you're just such an authentic, genuine person. And I just love your story. I love that you shine. And every time I see you, you seem to be shining brighter. And those are the gifts. That's the promises right there, bitch.
Absolutely.
Right?
That is it. All the
Right?
way.
For those who know.
Right.
For those who know.
For those who know.
Tell people where they can see you. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
You're you have a party that I think you do once a month or something like that. What is it?
I do. At Pub on the Drive, I do a thing on Saturday nights called Shasta Shakedown. It's normally once a month. My next show is on August the 6th at 10 p.m. So please come by and say hey.
Say hey, say hi.
Say hey. And then I also do once a month at the Pub on the Drive. I do a brunch called Dragging It to Brunch. Nice. So we do a bit of a variety show. So it's not just queens. I try to get live singers and dancers and different things to come in from 2 to 4. And we just have a good time.
I love that.
You know, have a good time.
I love that. And that's what it's all about.
And
We
it's
need to have a
pageant
good time.
season, too, so-
And it's pageant season. You know that I'm one of the judges for Miss Florida. Just saying. You know.
Oh, hey, girl.
I love you so much,
I'm doing
Shasta.
Miss Pub at Large.
Yeah?
That's on August 25th,
Nice.
which is actually prelim to Miss Florida at Large, which is what I did last year as well. So.
Oh, well, look out for Shasta because she's taking over the world, guys. Take it up. She's coming for you. All right. Make sure that you follow her on all social media. All the information is there on your screen. I love you, Shasta. We'll be boogieing out on the drive real soon. You know that.
Better.
All right.
We better.
I love you, girl. Thank you.
I love you.
So, did you enjoy the show? I know you did. So make sure to click subscribe so you won't miss any of the events, news, or interviews right here on the FayWhat show. Ring the bell at the bottom of the screen, right there, so you'll be alerted every time we're live. You can also click on the Happening Out Television Network logo so you can see all of the shows on the most diverse LGBTQ+ media network. Find out just what we're doing to bring the L and the G together right here on the FayWhat show. Get the week started with me.